Hi, George Gannon here, and just want to give you a top tip on how to raise finance. Now, you may have known I originally got started when I was a full-time student at college, managed to raise 100% funding to get my first project bought in the auctions. Now, fast forward a bit, I sunk that money into a upper flat, but this time I had my sights on something a bit larger than a single flat. It was a derelict pub that was boarded up, and I wanted to convert it into 4 apartments. So 22 at the time, I went to the banks and I said, can I have 100% development funding please? And the bank said, you're a full-time student, you've got 0 cash in the bank, a little bit of equity in your upper flat, but zero cash in the bank. You've managed to wingle a £3,000 student loan out the system somehow. You've got no development experience, none whatsoever on something this size. And the building's speculative, i.e. doesn't even have planning permission in place. And also it's boarded up in a sort of rundown miners area. So it's not even viable as a public house as well. So basically, if you had to write a list of everything that was the hardest thing to get funding for, I more or less ticked every single box. And I was full-time at Northumbria Uni studying building surveying, and I really thought to myself, right, how can I get this off the ground? So I spoke to a few more banks and looked into mezzanine finance, and just the catalogue of all these issues was just too overwhelming. So I thought, okay, it's not going to happen this way. Now, whilst I was at college and university, I would work 80-hour weeks back to back for a self-made millionaire in the Isle of Man. And that was to pay back when I was living at my mum at college, her rent and myself food. And whilst I was at uni, it was just a job to support me through university. So I mentioned it to Alan Hall in the Isle of Man, and said, I've got this project. And he goes, go on then, George, do me a business plan, I'll lend you 100% funding. So I was like, wow, thank you, Alan, I really appreciate this. So I did a business plan. He did say to me he's never seen a business plan that's ever worked, he just wants to prove that I've thought about it. So fair enough. Did the business plan, put it to him, and he lent me 100% funding for 10% return on his investment. So I then did the plans myself for the property. I did the building control myself and the majority of the work myself, bar the wiring, plastering and roofing. I then remortgaged the property and sold one, kept the other 3. Then paid Alan Hall back plus 10% on his money and successfully managed to do it. So if you're thinking, how do I raise finance? How do I do this? How do I get started? You might not be as bullish as myself, but the simple fact is, I believed. I went out there, I didn't take no for the answer when I hit them brick walls from the banks, and I went out to find a solution to that given challenge. So you have people that are solution orientated and you have people that are problem orientated. You need to switch your mindset so you're focusing on, how do I become a solution orientated person? So I was 22, full-time student, 0 cash in the bank, even had a £3,000 student loan, and I had no development experience whatsoever. And the building I was buying was speculative. I didn't even have planning permission in place, and it's definitely wasn't viable as a pub because there's too many others in the area. And also the property itself was boarded up and not in the best area. So a lot of factors going against me, especially needing that 100% funding. Now, Alan Hall said to me, George, there's not many people that can do what you do or will do what you do. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, you give up your summer holidays and you come over here and you'll do an 80-hour week and you'll do that back to back. And you know what? You bloody graft and you're good at it. So maybe he thought in the background I can always work it off if it doesn't go right, or he could pick it up. But he certainly gave me an opportunity. Now, think, who is it that you might work for? Who is it that you might have as a client? Who is it that you might have as a family member? Who is it that you might have friends? So there's so many people out there that you could possibly go to. So that's just one starting point. Past them, there are a whole array of other areas that you can go to raise finance. But what I'm trying to get across to you is I was 22, and I managed to achieve it. And it wasn't through sheer luck, it was through going out there and dogged, persistent determination. So again, I really, really hope this inspires you. And you certainly have a lot more going for you, I believe, for you right now than I did back then. Again, I was on my own. I had no one saying, yes, you can do this, other than Alan Hall giving me that chance, giving me that opportunity and lending me 90,000 for the purchase and 90,000 for the works, and then revalued about around $250,000 and pulled out in equity around 72,000. So again, these things are possible and you can do it.